What up, what up, what up, what up? Hey, Urban CEOs, how you doing? This is your founder, Taria Vision Divine, and I have another video for y'all. I'm telling you, we out here in the streets, okay? So our very own Elam B. King got a chance to get up with another one of our 2019 Hustlers of the Year. All I can tell you is this is another dope interview that y'all don't want to miss, okay? So let's just get into it. I can tell you this. I heard about this incredible superstar through another person, and then I had a chance to look her up. And when I say this is definitely another young mogul out here getting it. And not only is she getting it, but she's bringing other people with her. So check out this interview that Elam did, and we'll be right back.
I have the pleasure today of just having an interview with an amazing individual. I'm going to let her introduce herself, all right? But and I'm just super excited about just some of the things that it looks like that's already happening for you, but I don't want to spoil too much. First of all, Snoop, where are you from?
I'm originally from Detroit. I lived in Nashville, moved there for high school, and also went to college there.
Okay. What college did you go to?
I went to Vanderbilt.
Okay, okay.
Yep, I went to college when I was 16.
Okay, all right, 16. You
yeah.
start school early, or you just skip like 3 grades or what? I mean, that's what's up.
I don't know if I was supposed to put
Ooh,
it in the
Jesus. So, all right. So, you said you started school early?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I started school when I was 3.
Okay.
Originally from Detroit, Michigan. My dad was a big-time drug dealer. My mom, young, having me, and honestly, it was just a thing, kind of like, okay, well, she almost got it, I ain't about to put her in daycare. I need to, move around. So we gonna try and see if she can start school early.
She was tired of you bothering her at the crib. That's what.
Basically, you already know.
Now, would you say that where did you kind of maybe pick up your entrepreneurial skill set? Where do you think that came from? Was like from day one you was like that's what you want to do, or did you try to? Because with you graduating from Vanderbilt, it would seem like go to school, get good grades, go to college, and do it like that. But what do you think was the shift?
I mean, it pretty much like growing up, as a child, people always ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Right.
And I told my mom that I was going to own a bunch of businesses and pay her bills once I grew up.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so I always thought that, I would own a lot of businesses, never really knew what field I was going to go down and different things of that nature. But, I ended up here in the long run.
How many different industries are you involved in right now?
I'm involved in 3 different industries right now. So the beauty industry, I own Remedy Spa and Salon Suites.
Okay.
I've got a location in downtown Atlanta right off of Ralph McGill Boulevard.
Okay.
Check
that out, y'all. Check that.
I'm also in the hospitality industry.
Okay.
I've got 2 joint ventures with the rapper 2 Chainz, members only, as well as Escobar Restaurant and Tapas in Castleberry Hills. And then this spot, I'm opening this spot next week. It's a solo venture by myself.
Nice.
It's called Crave at Little 5 Points.
Okay. All right. And so what will this restaurant entail?
This restaurant, it'll pretty much just, kind of be like a restaurant vibe during the day, a little loungy at night. The concept is, what do you crave? So, a lot of, we've got a lot of people here that are from other cities,
right?
And not from here in Atlanta. So what I did is I tried to play off of that with the menu and pick different, like for example, those nachos we saw on the menu.
They smell lovely, by the way. The nachos on point with the shrimps on them. Okay, all right, go ahead.
On the menu, they're called the New Mexico nachos.
Okay.
We've got the Philly cheesesteak, the Detroit Coney Island. So it's basically a play off of different food items that come from various cities.
So what you gonna do for the West? What food's gonna come from there?
We got the LA Bay fish tacos for brunch. We got the neighborhood nip, which is a blue waffle with 3 whole wings. What else do we have out there for the West Coast?
What about? Did you talk about the Midwest? Yeah. What you got for the Midwest folks?
Oh well, we've got for Chicago, we've got gyros, city gyros.
All right. What about the Texas folks?
New York buffalo wings. Texas chili cheese fries.
Okay.
So, yeah, we got them covered.
What about the Miami folk? What do we do for Florida?
Florida, we got the Florida key lime pie. We also had a Florida grouper.
Oh,
Yeah, we've
come
got
on,
a Florida
grouper.
grouper sandwich on there as well.
I am hungry now, so y'all messing me up right now, but it's all good though. And which one of those industries, which one's your favorite? Which one do you feel like that maybe, this one is just, you could just do this one literally all day?
Oh, and also real estate.
Oh, okay.
I would say that real estate is becoming, it's kind of competing, with the hospitality industry. The only thing about I love the hospitality industry. I've been doing this for a while. I started off as a promoter.
Okay.
I opened up my first club when I was 24.
Okay.
So, this is something I've been doing for a minute. But one of the things about, owning restaurants and lounges, it requires a lot of staff to make the business work, So
right.
I'm learning more so with real estate, I can get a good return on my investment.
Okay.
And not have to have a lot of pieces to the puzzle. So, definitely working smarter. Trying to get to the point on working smarter versus harder.
A lot of times people, of course, they want to go out and be great or whatever, but what it really takes, the grind, I'm sure that you know about, the time and effort, money, all the above, blood, sweat, tears. For those that even want to get to half your level, let alone to where you are right now, if you had to give them, just some of the difficulties that you ran through, some of the pain points, so that people can understand that and still push forward, what are some of those pain points that you worked through?
Well, I talk about a lot of them on my website, whoissnoop.com. I've lost it all and gotten it all back, at least 3 times, in this lifetime. I'm only 34.
Okay.
But some of them is just knowing who to hire, who to trust, what to expose them to. I had a guy that was working for me, a newspaper company I used to own, and he ended up pretty much stealing the business from right up under my nose. Duplicating the entire business. He was the manager that had kind of the relationship with a lot of the people that we were working with. Even though I was the owner, they didn't know who I was. You know what I mean? And so that was one of the big things I learned. Too, business partnerships. You got a lot of people that when they're first trying to get into business, one of the biggest things is, how do they get the capital?
Okay.
And so, they'll link up with other people because they're trying to split the costs, the time, the investment, and things of that nature. But you can't do business with everybody. So,
amen.
Those are 2 main things, that I wish I would have kind of learned, some of the hardships from it sooner, you know what I mean? But definitely some things, that I've learned from, and going forward. And like I said, one of the biggest for me is knowing who to do business with, and keeping your circle small.
Right. And what's the website that people can check out some of the other ones that you were talking about?
Whoissnoop.com.
Whoissnoop.com. So on there, some of the pain points that you went through, y'all check that out, because that's very important. A lot of times people want the successful pieces, but they don't, along the way, some of those humps and bumps. So you would say that, so between 24 and 34, that's pretty much what you experienced?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So that's a decade. So that's that's a lot of time and effort that you had to put in.
Absolutely.
So let's move over to, just really quickly, if somebody wanted to, there's people out there that want to step out on faith, whether it's into the real estate, whether it's into the hospitality, just if you can give maybe just one step of that first step that somebody could take to kind of move the ball forward, what do you think that would be?
Well, one of the first steps is just doing the research.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Knowing, being knowledgeable about what it is that you're trying to get into. A lot of people, they don't take the time to do the research and get some of that experience. And so instead, they end up wasting a lot of their money, because they end up getting into the business and not knowing what they're doing. And so they end up wasting a lot of money trying to figure it out. So it's, doing the research, maybe doing an internship, getting up under somebody. We're never too old to intern.
Right.
Even new industries that I've, tried to enter in, I'll seek people out that are already doing it, and say, hey, man, can I take you to lunch or whatever the case may be.
How would somebody seek some? I mean, would use social media? Just go to networking events? Both. Social media, a lot of times you may not be taking it seriously, on social media and through the DM. But what you can do is, a lot of times business people,
especially people like me, my email is right there, you know.
Right.
So if you've taken the time and actually have the wherewithal to know to click that email and come at me professionally versus coming into my DM, which I tell people all the time, when we were growing up in school, you had the slow classes, all type of different classes. We were all separated. There's no division now. We're all on social media together.
Right.
So, you'll have people like myself, that, I get maybe 100 DMs a day. 30 of them may be stupid. And so, when you've got the pattern of that,
you might
so
not
then
really
you
pay
may
attention.
not take people as seriously. But, if you send me an email, and it's a well-written professional email, you're not using slang, you're coming at me professionally, then those are the type of things that somebody would take seriously.
Nice. And that was a nugget for some of y'all. Email, stop the DM, y'all. And it's really the spam DM that be messing up, because sometimes you really want to, reach out and talk to somebody, but that same piece there, so that makes a lot of sense. So one of the great things about, Urban CEO, Urban stands for unapologetic, real bold, action-oriented, and non-conforming. And one of the things I love about while you're talking is that, like, you pretty much embody a lot of those pieces, all those pieces that are there. Which one of those would you say, and I'll repeat it if he was kind of like unapologetic. Here you go, right here. So you can look right there. Okay. Which one of them would you say probably sticks out the most for you during your
I would say for me, 3 of them really: real, bold, and action oriented. You can't do anything without action. I was just telling my daughter, earlier, most people are dreamers versus doers.
Right.
You've got to do the work.
Stop doing all the talk.
You got to do the work. You know what I mean? You have to be about the actions.
Right.
Being bold, being bold, for me, is kind of about, taking chances, you know what I mean? So being bold enough, to get out there and take those risks and take those chances. And then being real, you have to always be real, number one, with yourself.
Okay.
That's one thing about me. People tell me all the time, I'm very real. What you see is what you get.
Okay.
I'm not going to sugarcoat anything.
Okay.
The people that work for me, they don't have to worry about if they're doing a good job. They know. I'm going to let them know.
No, that's good. How has spirituality played into your life and when I say spirituality, regardless of whatever religion or lack thereof, how has that played into, from childhood straight through?
It's so funny. I was putting somebody on that show, Greenleaf, last night. So it had been a minute since I had watched the very first episode. And I don't know if you watched the show.
I kind of do, yeah.
Okay, but it was when Grace had first came back home, and Jacob's wife, he was saying, oh, so you must be one of those people, what do they call it nowadays? You're more spiritual than religious.
Okay.
And I said, oh, that's me. Because I feel like religion has been so tainted.
Yes.
But I'm a very spiritual person, absolutely believe in God, put God first. I think one of the ways that it's played in for me, and definitely was a really big thing, I'm not afraid to say it, growing up, in my earlier 20s, I kind of went down a bad path, sold drugs, did a lot of different things, to make the money that I needed to make, to start some of my first businesses. And my mom, she's very religious. And so, she was always on me to, be a good person and do things right. And I remember, one time I was kind of going through something, financially, and, I was really, tempted, to get back into making the fast money, that I know how to do. And, my mom told me, she said, you going through a storm right now.
Okay.
And, God is watching you, and whatever you do during this storm is going to determine the outcome.
Come on.
Afterwards. And, I was just kind of like, okay, I'm going to struggle through it and da-da-da-da-da. And, shortly thereafter, I ended up opening up the first business that I had here in Atlanta. And then there was another period where, I had that business for a little bit, it was doing all right. But I was still just doing some things that I knew I shouldn't be doing. For example, getting food stamps, knowing that I made enough money, didn't need food stamps, you know what I mean? Stealing from the government. Yeah. It doesn't seem like I'm hurting anybody, that I know, or on a day-to-day basis.
Edit that part out, stealing from
But, at one point I decided, hey, I'm not going to do anything I'm not supposed to do.
Right.
Anything at all. And I literally made that change, you know,
and that's such a basic
decided,
concept.
And decided, you know, that I was going to be a good person and do right by everybody. Make sure that anybody that works for me gets paid, no matter how well the business does or how well it does not do. You know what I mean? And so for me, that's all goes back to my spirituality. And I feel like when I made that change was really when I started, you know, seeing my blessings, you know, triple, you know, fold for me.
Come on. You know, so as a lot of times when people are moving forward, sometimes they have a significant other, right, that might understand or not understand or hold them back or whatever case to be. What about inside of your relationships? What have you experienced, and or, you know, what could you share with people so that they, you know, can understand that balance between your relationship and rocking and rolling?
For me, I haven't had like a lot of significant relationships in my adulthood, but you know, of course I've had a few. But I think one of the most important things for me is I haven't allowed anybody to deter me, you know, from my goals. A lot of times, you know, especially in our younger days, you know, we get so caught up in relationships and we allow them to be a distraction. One thing that's always been important for me, if I am going to be with somebody or spend time with somebody, it needs to be somebody that has similar mindset, you know what I mean? And we're, you know, shooting at the same stars, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, relationships are huge because, you know, I've had some in my much younger days that really set me back, you know what I mean? And that was really big for me as I got older, you know, no matter how much I fell in love with somebody or whatever the case may be, to not allow it to get in between my success. We'll wrap up in a moment, but before we do, I just want to touch on this because there's a lot of people that might be in the streets and they want to get out. They have a dream. They want to make a table. I don't know. And they might be thinking, oh, well, that might not work for me or whatever. And the fast money, like you said, that you were able to just push back on. If you had to give them just a point to, hey, this is why you need to come out, or this is a better way of thinking about that, what would that be? Well, I think for me, like, number one, everything I did, it was always like a means to get money to put it towards a business, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, when you are in that type of life, you know it's going to come to an end at some point, you know what I'm saying? So, I think number one, being real with yourself and being real with the situation that you're in, you know what I mean, is first and foremost important. Two, you know, at some point you have to just, like, you have to make a sacrifice to get ahead. You know what I'm saying? And so that sacrifice a lot of times is, hey, I'm going to stop doing this, you know what I mean? And things are going to be a little different, you know what I mean, for a little bit.
It's going to be a little tight for a while.
Yeah. But, you know, eventually, you know, it'll get better than it was before, and you'll be in something where you don't have to look over your shoulder, you know, and, you know, worry about when the police might be kicking your door in.
That's word. Where can we find you? You know, social media wise, and you want to give your website again. Where can we find you if we want to follow you?
I can be found Instagram at Who Is Snoop. Also my website, whoissnoop.com. And my email address is helpgrowmybusiness@gmail.com.
I like that. Come on, email helpgrowmybusiness@gmail. I like that. Thank you so much for just sitting down with us today and speaking with us. I want you to know ahead of time that you have inspired people already, and I can tell just from our conversation that a lot of people that are going to gather some information from you. So thank you for dropping them nuggets.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And hopefully we can see you at our conference coming up October 11th through the 13th.
I'll be there.
In right here in the ATL for the Urban CEO Network Conference. All right.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Y'all can check Snoop out. All right. And thank you so much again.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Cool.
So, all right, y'all, I know what you're saying. I know you like, Taria, I got to be at the conference. Like, what's good? How can I get my ticket? Well, all you have to do, guys, is go to urbanceonetwork.com, like right now. Go there right now and get your tickets. They're selling fast, okay? It's going to be lit in Atlanta, Georgia. And we've got people that are coming in from all over the country. Some people be like, well, Taria, I'm in LA. I can't come. Shoot. They got people flying in from LA. We have people coming in from New York, from the north, south, east, and west. Might even have some people coming in from other countries. That's how lit lit the Urban CEO 2019 conference is going to be. Now, I want y'all to understand there's an award and ceremony the night for Friday night. Let me get it out. Friday night. Listen. Friday night, come fly. We dressed in black and red, okay? Black and red. You could do a little accent in white if you want to, but black and red. Be super fly, okay? Like, shut it down on Friday night. We're going to have our award ceremony where we're going to be recognizing our who's who, okay? Our who's who of 2019. We're going to be recognizing, of course, our hustlers of the year. We're going to be recognizing our Academy members, all Academy members. You guys are going to be, it's going to be this amazing ceremony. It's going to be so dope. I can't wait. We're also going to be recognizing our incredible ambassadors, those of you who've been out here pushing the conference, right? And then Saturday and Sunday, we have a lineup of speakers, panels. Oh, we're going to be doing a pitch fest. Now, if you want to know more about the pitch fest, or if you want to be able to pitch to potentially win some money, we're only going to be accepting 4 companies. The 2 requirements, number 1 is you must be an Academy member, and number 2, you need to have your ticket, okay? So everybody who has purchased a ticket, make sure you stay tuned to your emails, because we're going to be sending you details on how you're going to be able to be one of those 4 companies to actually pitch at the conference, and you might get some money. Okay, you're gonna get some mentorship. You're gonna grow your business. Look, we setting y'all up. We're gonna have bankers in the house. We're gonna have influencers in the house. It's gonna be lit up. It's lit up for the urban community. Look, I don't want to hear nobody from my community talking about they don't know where to go. They didn't have the resources. They didn't know what to do. We're bringing it to you at the conference, okay? And we're bringing it to you in a way that you understand. One thing that separates us from a lot of companies out there is that's where I come from, okay? It's not about color. It's about community. It's about a culture. And I come from the urban community, and I speak the language of urban, and I understand the challenges that we have, and so that's why you need to be there. Thank you so much to Elam. Thank you, Snoop. I can't wait for you guys to meet some of our other honorees that are going to be at the conference, and I can't wait to see you there in Atlanta, Georgia. All right, deuces.